Hello, and welcome to MrDudeManSir. And today, I'm going to be trying something completely new, and I'm not exactly sure how it's going to go over. So make sure to tell me what you think in the comments. I am going to be reading I Am a Good Parent. I have two. They are beautiful. One is an adventurous boy at the age of 4, yet respectful beyond his years. The other is an affectionate bundle of babbles with 6 months behind her. Together, they are the overflowing receptacle of love, my husband and me. We want to teach our children to be the best they can be in the world. We are the breeders of curiosity and intelligence. Some parents refuse to explain things to their children. They command them and expect them to adhere to regulations without providing any justifications. Because I said so. Some don't worry to elaborate on the happenings around them. It's just the way it is. Stop asking questions. Don't worry about it. I believe that those parents just don't want to think too hard. They're conditioning their offspring to be as ignorant of our realm as they are. But no, not us. All children should understand the world around them. We want them to question it, scrutinize it, struggle with it, and come to their own conclusions. Most adults really underestimate the capacity children have for comprehension. We know better than that. We are better than that. We have two, and we're going to make them magnificent. In the instance that there are old inquiries, Mom, Dad, why are you throwing away that lasagna you made for the other day? We don't reply, because it's bad there. What we want to hear of that, of course. He loves and trusts his parents, and may accept that valid answer. But do we want him to follow us blindly forever? Absolutely not. He and his sister are the checks and balances when we age potentially lose our open-minded focus. The elderly can be so stubborn. So instead we construct a clear observation of Tupperware to keep the lasagna instead of throwing it away. After a few days the leftovers spoil and the nasty remnants are for him to investigate. Ew. So that is what you're throwing away after the leftovers? Because they're getting bad. Exactly. He is so smart. We are doing a fantastic job as parents. We have two, and they're going to be perfect. As most parents know, children are such curious creatures. There are not enough hours in the day to perform an experiment on every question our little boy has. Instead, we usually lead him onto our path of critical thinking. When he asks why, we query back, why do you think it would be like that? He'll ponder and funnel his way into the few conclusions. Usually he'll head some boosts into the right directions. One night he called for us from his bed as talking into a little lady. Mom, Dad, I heard something in my closet. What was that? My husband chuckles as we came to his aid. Well, kid, what do you think it was? I think it was a monster. Or a ghost. Coming to take me away. Where have you seen one of those before? Have you heard about them on the news? Well, no. Just stories from other kids, but I never saw them. Our little one considered the possibilities. Maybe it was an animal. That was much more plausible than a supernatural being. He was on the right track. I chimmed him on his investigation. Honey, we are in a safe place here, right? My little detective agreed. Why don't we check it to see what it was? Nervous, he slid out of the other covers and padded to the closet door. It was a sliding door, and inside we kept the clothes up to the top of a small table and art supplies at the floor. There was a cup of crayons that must have been seated too far at the edge of the table, and gravity finally got to them. There was a rainbow of wax sticks sprawled on the floor, leaving light marks on the white door. Assumed, our brilliant mini-man came to his conclusion, all on his own. He would pave the way for his sister. We have two, and they're essentially already brilliant. On a different occasion, he asked, why do I have these bumps on my arm sometimes? We led him to deduct the situation and around the circumstances. Well, I am usually sitting still and I'm cold, but why does my body do that? Since he can't read our DNA instructions within our home, we resorted to research. He cannot yet perform an intricate Google search, it will be typing his fingers. We discover in the instance of cooling temperatures that our bodies are raising goosebumps in order to create insulation. It is working to make us warmer. Happy with his answer, he went on his way. Such a good child. We have 2, and they're on the way to being great. Other times, such extensive questioning just isn't a viable option. Some sunny day, my husband and I tarried along our children to the local park. I was cradling my youngest when our boy walked to us, fiddling his fingers. There is a woman watching me a lot, and I don't know why. We surveyed the park around us, but did not see any woman staring at him. Maybe it was another parent that didn't trust other children around theirs, and thus watched our boy frolic around her babe. It was a full grounds on this beautiful day, but it was obvious that our boy was unnerved. We asked him if he felt safe enough to investigate. He said no. Proud of his deduction, we let him know that we were glad that we can recognize he felt uncomfortable and to come to us for support. We left the park, explaining to him that sometimes you cannot investigate if it's not safe. I gave him our deductions to try to ease his mind. He wasn't happy with his answer, so we advised him about some scientists. They don't always have the information that we need, so they can finish off the research. Every so often, one just has to move to the next excursion without a real answer. We have 2, and they're going to be revolutionary. My daughter had a fever the other night. I curled her as she sweat. My son asked why his dear sister wasn't feeling too well. I told him we weren't sure, but the doctor said it would pass. He was visibly upset. As an older brother, it pained him to see his sister in any sort of discomfort. I placed her in the crib, with the fan on, and left her brother there to stroke her budding hair across her forehead. I just want to know why your head hurts, little sister. I want to make it better. We have 2, and they are loving creatures. I tried to distract myself with television, as my husband was away on a business trip, but I managed to zone out into a nap. Later, I awoke and left the room to check on my daughter and to see what my son was getting into. On my way, I noticed his father's toolbox was opening on the floor. Meticulous of a man he was, it was odd to see the box open and a couple implements missing. I became irritated at my husband, as I know that I did not leave this array here. I went into the youngest one's nursery. There, her brother had investigated as to why his sweet little sister had such a fever. He was in the crib with her. He had the screwdrivers. It was a mess. Here's the reason that I have one. Mom, I'm trying to look and see why sister's head hurts. I still haven't found any boo-oos here. It's okay. I am a good parent. I remedied the situation. Because now, I have none